We're at the Bonita Nature Place, and the bats are just starting to emerge for their nightly foraging of mainly mosquitoes, other flying insects, and they start coming out. Right now it's 7:58, and they should come out for about 10 minutes, and they'll start increasing in numbers here in a few more minutes, and drop out pretty heavily for 5 minutes. You get a real pretty heavy rush of them, and then they'll start to taper off. Takes them about 10 to 15 minutes to all come out, and we may get as many as 250 to 300 of them. Okay. Moon's starting to show. These bats are a species called Mexican freetail, and also same species Brazilian freetail, and it has to do with the way their tail appears in relation to their wings. And these bats are native here. They they do migrate at the peak of the heat in the summertime. They may migrate out, and it appears that, as I understand it, they may migrate as far as up into the Carolina coast, and then they come back down here for the winter. They may stay year round now. This bat house I built it a few years ago and put it up, and it took about a year and a half to occupy, and it's been occupied now for another few years. It's been occupied like it is now for on and off for the last 3 years, and they may stay permanently. Sometimes they do that here in this part of the world, but sometimes they migrate out. And this particular species doesn't migrate a very long distance. Some bats migrate much further, but this species doesn't go more than maybe as far as South Carolina. And they're coming out pretty good. That's good. Now these bats will fly possibly as far on tonight. They may fly as much as 20 miles, and they'll be eating mostly mosquitoes, but some other flying insects also. And they also, I understand that sometimes they will seek a temporary roost for a little while in the middle of the night, and then continue to forage. But they'll come back in when the light is approximately the same intensity as it is right now. They'll come back in the morning, in the in the wee hours of the morning, as it just begins to get light. And they find their food not by seeing it. I mean, here they are, and it'll be quite dark when they're looking for a mosquito, so there's not much to see. But they find it by sound. They echolocate the food, send out a little, what would be like a little radar ping, and they get a picture of it back, and they know it either is or isn't what they're looking for. And if it is, then they'll go eat it. And it appears that this is approximately I think their birthing season, and I believe these bats do have some some babies in that nest now. That nesting box there, or that dwelling, holds up to as many as 400 or 500 of them. They're tiny little bats, and they like to be close together. They like to live in a large, tightly grouped community.